It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly and jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
Yes, indeed. Season's greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Staffslinger.
Yeah, how you doing tonight, Staffslinger?
Very Staffslingery.
Very Staffslingery. Alright, fair enough. I need to write this intro down on fucking paper. Hold on. That's all I have to say. I need to write this intro down on paper instead of relying on YouTube's very unreliable. Screw it. BlueDragonFive, take us through the intro, please.
Since the Christmas season's upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews. 12 to be exact. Decoratively divided into 4 categories for your Yuletide pleasure. So without further ado, silver up those bells, light those multicolored lights, and go on and build a snowman to join us in some seasonal shenanigans. And tonight's category will be specials. And what's our special tonight, Tiki? Tell us that much.
Our special tonight, yeah, that's the one thing I'm competent in doing. Our special tonight is the Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for that intro. My God, I have to actually write it down. Okay, anyways, moving on. Keep moving forward, is Walt Disney would say.
Keep moving forward. Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Really seen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. It was in a quote at the end of Meet the Robinsons.
Which was on today, by the way, funny
Oh,
enough.
was it?
No, but did Walt Disney actually say that?
Well, yeah, but he didn't just say it alone. It was like within a giant quote.
Yeah, it was like he said the words "keep moving forward."
It was meaningful, though.
So
Yeah.
wait, did he write it down or did he actually say it? That's all I'm asking.
He said it.
Okay, then that's what counts, I guess.
He said it.
Okay, so Toy Story That Time Forgot. This is probably, most likely, I can't imagine we're going to be reviewing anything more recent than this, because it just came out this past week, right?
Yes.
Was
Yeah.
it really? Wow.
Yeah,
It was Tuesday.
So we're getting on the ball with this one. We're hopping right on the train. Yeah, Toy Story. All right. So, first of all,
Sorry.
quick summary of the Toy Story That Time Forgot. So,
Well, before we get into it, I wanted to go through a smidge of background, if I may.
yeah.
So yeah, basically this is originally intended to be kind of with the rest of our shorts as kind of a 6-minute job, but John Lasseter liked it so much he suggested, why don't you guys go like a full special, Christmas special, which is funny because Toy Story originally started as a Christmas special.
That's true.
And pretty much the big winning idea was this whole toy line idea, which as we've all discussed previously to this, we love the heck out of.
Oh yeah.
And believe it or not, this is in the works. This is in works for 3 years, along with Toy Story along with
Toy Story Terror.
Yes, Toy Story Terror.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, we're going beat by beat, aren't we?
Yeah, I've got my notes. Yeah, Staffslinger, you probably don't have any notes, but hopefully you can keep up with us. We're gonna kind of tackle this, as a recap of sorts. Okay, so yeah, with that in mind, the special itself is mostly about, like you said, it's mostly establishing. It's interesting that it takes place after Christmas.
Oh
right?
yeah, going into this. Sorry.
It does. I never got that. Oh right, because they all have their presents.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's they say it's a day or two after Christmas.
Mm-hmm. So it takes place kind of in that weird in-between space between Christmas and New Year's.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's a good time period because that's like when you're a kid. That's the time period that you'd be playing with all your new toys.
Oh
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
sure.
And a central theme of this episode, as you're about to see, is that toys are not so important anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
And
That
this is
definitely comes into play.
And this is the second Toy Story related thing to take place around Christmas time, by the way.
And also the second Toy Story theme to take place around toys not being the most important toy, so to speak, in the household anymore.
Sure, sure.
Video games kind of almost, take over, the child's play space.
I mean, I've talked about this a lot when we did our kind of speculation about Toy Story 4, but yeah, I think if they're going to go forward and do like a full Toy Story trilogy, I think the really smart way to go with that would be to incorporate as much of that social commentary as possible into it, with the with the whole concept of kids are getting iPads at like 5 years old and stuff like that, and technology is basically being used as a parenting tool. And I could go on a whole political rant right here, but I won't.
But let's dive into this special. So I guess
all right.
We see Bonnie's in the middle of some playtime. It's after Christmas. We got some cute bits like Santa Woody. We see a little Easter egg of the knick-knack snow globe.
Oh yeah, shit, that's right.
And we see Bonnie's very creative playtime, which is taken off from Toy Story 3 and so forth. She's really creative. She does kind of this Flo waitress gag.
Oh yeah.
Where it's saying, "Oh, my son can't have bugs in his ice cream," with the young-looking Mr. Potato Head, which is really funny.
Yeah. And then, so we have this playtime scene, and then we progress into what would seem to be this plot about the dinosaur basically feeling inadequate.
Yeah, Trixie.
About not being able to play a real dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she's playing the Easter Bunny right now and a whole bunch of other roles.
Reindeer.
And everyone else seems to always get the role of dinosaur, and she's never gotten to play this role of the dinosaur, and that really seems to bug her, And they really, I don't know. I like how they play on this plot of the character that feels inadequate, and learns her own place. But I also find it quite disturbing that they have this whole theme of like giving yourself up in the story. That kind of bothers me a little.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself up, like you just gotta surrender to your child, and like it's a little just the implications of the theme.
It does bother me considering like what they learned from their first experience. Although Trixie didn't go through the whole Andy thing, so
it's just it's very almost fish, and I get what they're trying to do with it. It's very sweet. They're trying to be very sweet and childlike with it. You're supposed to love your child or your owner, so to speak.
Sure.
But when you look at it in the full contextualization of what's going on, it is a little creepy, like they're owners. You're supposed to love and obey your owners and become almost, like subservient to them. And
oh yeah.
That in and of itself is just kind of creepy, I guess, because they're basically slaves to these children.
I think it's very much like you're definitely hitting on like very much a dark sort of like undercurrent to the entire Toy Story franchise, I think.
I think that could be like something to explore even.
Mm-hmm.
Not really in a serious tone, but almost in maybe a dull tone, in a way that would be appropriate for children, but in a way that could also introduce these adult themes to them in an appropriate way.
Certainly. Dragon, what do you have to say?
Well, more. I didn't really read it entirely like that. I got what you're saying, Slinger, but it's more so like she. I love the idea. Remember Trixie and pretty much the rest of the toys. They're an acting troupe pretty much, as we learned in Toy Story 3. And she knows she plays all these various roles, and the role she covets most is the role is herself, a dinosaur. And in terms of like the surrender theme.
Is that not a perfect Trixie dinosaur right there?
Yes.
I don't see it about the main characters per se, but I see it almost playing itself out with the side characters almost that the main come across, because obviously Disney is very careful with their main franchise characters. But if it were some sort of side plot or side characters, they're a lot more lenient with that kind of sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Thing happening. Definitely not with Woody or Buzz or any of the main Toy Story characters being in that sort of situation where they're questioning, their master or anything. But with someone, with maybe sort of an abusive, maybe sort of like more akin to like Sid, maybe they might explore more of those ideas in the future. Is what I'm thinking of, like a character that's similar to Sid, but where the toys question their master, so to speak.
Yeah, well, there's this really good Toy Story comic that actually explored kind of the idea a little more, though. It really answered the question I always had since I was a kid about Toy Story. Or at least it touched upon it, I should say. Really good comic. I'm not going to bore you with the extended story, but let's just say one of the army men decides, I want to, essentially kind of the same dilemma Trixie's having right now of, hey, I want to be treated like an army man. Not like
right, yeah.
And essentially Woody has to chase down the Sarge, I guess. I believe it's the Sarge, and pretty much tell him, look, you have to, we abide by this because we don't want to stand. If we came to life and we told the kids how we wanted to be played, we'd be taking their creative freedom away from them. We don't want to do it. We're here for them. We're not. Essentially, that's what they're saying. We gotta be a blank slate so we can be anything.
Right.
Kind of similar message to what this thing is.
A lot of that plays into what I'm trying to drive at, though. Like, these toys are obviously sentient beings, and when they go on about how they're there for the children, that implies that they have no free will, or at least they have no implication of being there for themselves. Mm-hmm. And those implications, in and of itself, are a little strange, I mean, maybe that's just me speaking from a very American mindset. I could see if I had a much more, like if I was raised in a much more Asian culture, they have a much more for the whole kind of mindset, or even in a military household, I might have a for the whole kind of mindset.
Right.
Obviously, I was raised in a very liberal kind of household in America, so that it's obviously probably due to my, my situation that I was that my opinions are this way.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a point, Slinger. It's just I think it's a bit of that, but I think really what's kind of sticking out to me about this, I love kind of the interesting slant you have on, again, what Toy Story always does. It explains kind of the interesting slants of being a toy, kind of the interesting kind of mundanity, which again is a huge thing I love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The kind of the mundanity. Okay, well, yeah. She's a dinosaur who wants to be a dinosaur, but she can't communicate that to her owner, so that's kind of an interesting situation to put.
Yeah, it's a lot like it does remind me a lot.
Existential crisis, I guess.
Like, it reminds me a lot of being in the military, or even in school and trying to communicate to a teacher that that you want to be a certain
right, yeah.
Or even a parent, trying to communicate to your parent that you want to pursue a certain career path. There's a lot of different things that this could hit on.
Yeah, it is some good layers there.
Yeah, about authority figures and people in positions, and I guess that makes sense because this is trying to communicate to children, and children are often in positions where they don't have the power. They are basically powerless figures in their lives.
And of course, power and subservience does play big time to the kind of the culture we're going to observe momentarily in this special. But
that makes a lot of sense, though, when you think about it in the contextualization of children, because basically children they're not slaves, but they are under the authority of their parents.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Certainly.
The children in Toy Story take the figure of the parents more than anything else.
Yeah.
Toys are the children. That makes a lot more sense.
Right. Well, yeah, just kind of feeding into what Trixie's going through. Let's kind of move on with the story. Pretty much,
I just take this opportunity, since Trixie's the main character in the special right now, to
sure.
BlueDragonFive.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Gravity Falls, man.
Would you stop with the Gravity?
You gotta watch Gravity Falls.
What is
it's the same? Because it's the same voice actress.
Speaking of BlueDragonFive, the main character is a blue dinosaur, so. Ha ha ha.
So there you go. You gotta watch Gravity Falls. Watch Gravity Falls because...
I get it. Kirsten Shaw's good, okay? I get
Yes, Kristen Shaw is amazing. Yes. Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on.
So, speaking of parts and actresses here, I want to mention, so yeah, Mr. Pricklepants, he says, inhabit the part, but I am a dinosaur. Really good, again, hitting on the head like what her issue is. Like she wants to be a dinosaur, so she's going to psych out her mind to be it. Again, be the ultimate role of being yourself, exploring that. And yeah, Pricklepants' words are going to echo big time later on in the story.
Pricklepants is so annoying in the previous special, though.
Oh yeah. So who?
You didn't like him as like the Matthew Lillard type, like pointing out the horror movie cliches. I kind of like that.
It just got old after the first 5 minutes.
Well, okay. So to be fair, I think that's a positive we can give this special is they definitely very much focus on Trixie and.
Which points to them. I didn't know they were going to go with that. I mean, it was either going to be Rex or Trixie. That's a cool, gutsy idea to go with. We're visiting one of our new characters, giving her the special.
And
the Christmas special, nonetheless.
All the other characters, even Woody and Buzz, are kind of reduced to very, very supporting roles.
Certainly. I like how Jessie, she doesn't get like a huge amount of stuff to do because she got pretty much the whole other special.
Yeah, her like Toy Story of Terror was definitely like Jessie's story for sure.
So they're getting gutsy. They're switching around kind of the roles here. I wonder when we're going to get Mr. Potato Head special.
The entirety of that story was like Jessie has claustrophobia, though. I mean,
sure.
Anyways, moving on. Like, so they introduced this like angel cat character.
Yes. What's so funny about this is that we go with Bonnie, and Bonnie, as Buzz points out.
I know it's not a cat, but it's the closest thing I could find.
It is a cat.
No, it's not. It's a snowman. Do you want to build a snowman?
Tiki, you're defeating your own point here.
Pointy ears. It's a white angel kitten.
It's furry.
It has a kitten nose. I'm looking at the animation right now. It literally has a kitten nose. You
okay,
cannot.
Yeah. The one in the special is a kitten. Yeah, I know.
He means the the snowman he's dangling.
Yeah, I mean this thing. This is not a kitten. It is a snowman.
That's a snowman.
Yes. I know. It's just the closest thing I can find to an adorable ornament.
Yeah, that's not. Obviously, that's not a kitten.
Obviously.
Okay, so we've established the obvious now. So,
this little kitten character. Quotes. It doesn't quote. It just like recites like creepy, like. But somehow
it wasn't creepy.
I'm glad you agree with me that it was creepy.
Creepy, but somehow insightful.
Yes.
Lines.
He's basically quoting like Hallmark gift card slogans and stuff like that. Like stuff you'd see on Hallmark cards.
It says it in a creepy way, like.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely was going for a creepy vibe or something like that.
Greet the world with an open heart.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a second.
Everyone crowds around it and just. I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting it to talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, is this the first time we've seen the toys interact with an ornament?
They mentioned talking to Christmas ornaments in Toy Story 3.
When you think, when you think about it, I mean, it's really not much different from like a Happy Meal toy.
Sure, definitely.
Which they obviously interacted with in previous.
Uh-huh.
So. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. As a kid, you'd play with Christmas ornaments. I just don't get, the limitations of what can be alive and what can't be,
Well, lawn gnomes apparently can be alive.
Yeah, but, it's where does it end and where does it begin?
Falls.
I think it ends at appliances because then they're kind of getting on brave little toaster territory.
Oh, God. Oh, dear God.
Maybe there's a crossover universe somewhere there? That'd be interesting.
No.
Well, it would give us a sequel.
The universe is not ready for that.
I mean, can the backpack that they're in talk? You know, like I mean,
No, the backpack can't. I guess.
backpack can't talk, so then we're not in the Brave Little Toaster universe.
I think it has to have a character. I think the rules are it has to have a character imprinted on it.
That makes some sort of sense, I guess.
What do you
So, like,
mean,
appliances-
the name?
So does that mean
it has.
Food Fight? Like, does that mean like Food Fight is in this universe? Because you could go like the grocery store.
I mean, no, I mean like a physical, like a realized.
I'm just saying, you know,
I'm
like
just- I think it needs to be a fully realized like character with an intended purpose. I think that's what they're going for.
like plushies. So there's that.
All right. So back to our story for a
No, okay.
moment.
So she goes to this little boy's house.
Yeah, Mason.
Well, no, not Mason. Where are you getting Mason?
He's basically got an Oculus Rift.
Is it Jason?
No, it's Mason.
Mason,
Yeah,
but
that's what I said, Mason.
he's basically got an Oculus Rift knockoff.
An Oculus X, Optimus X. That's what they call it.
Optimus. It's basically the Oculus Rift, though.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
Oculus.
Before,
There's no question that. And so this is, I guess this is set like, let's just say 3 years from now, because the Oculus Rift hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah.
Which is actually not that unreasonable for when, you know, like Toy Story 4 might, you know, so maybe I was thinking maybe this is set around the same time period that Toy Story 4 might, you know, just because of that, I don't know.
I mean, I'd like to think like Toy Story 3 would take place, if not 2010, maybe a few years before 2010, something like that.
Well, I'm just trying to, like, this clearly has, like, technology that is
Right. Yeah.
literally, like, 2 years from being released.
Yeah.
So, this is clearly set in a very, very near future, you know, kind of situation
Okay.
where there's reality.
Now, before we get further at the Mason's house, can I wrap up on a few things at Bonnie's house real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so after Angel K, the funniest thing about Angel K is that just Trixie is bothered by it because literally an ornament that has nothing to do with dinosaurs whatsoever gets the dinosaur roll, and pretty much, you know, Buzz and the gang, they kind of reassure, you know, oh, that Bonnie's got an imaginative side to her that we don't understand,
Yeah.
and you know, Trixie pretty much getting reassured by Potato and the gang, yeah, we've all been dinosaurs, yeah, it's a kid thing. Don't worry about it. Your time will come being a dinosaur.
I like how Mr. Potato Head was like, oh, yeah, I've been a dinosaur a bunch of times. It's no big deal.
The premise is frustrating Trixie, and then basically get news of a encroaching plate. I love it. Also, yeah, you're right. That she is jealous because they're all kind of gathering and praising her for her performance, saying, "Oh, Trixie, your performance of the unsatisfied patron was most adequate." Well, she didn't say adequate. I'm just, you know, said it was good. Anyway, so after I like how Angel K. One more thing, Angel K. I like how she's being whatever. How Angel K. is being portrayed kind of like the LGMs, a little bit like kind of the aliens, in terms like she's put in the awesome spaceship bag, which I desperately want because that's beyond awesome.
Yeah.
Such a cool idea. I love that.
Well, I think she's alien because she's not quite a toy. She's a Christmas ornament, so
Certainly.
she's kind of alien, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I just love the idea that it kind of really harken back. A lot of moments in this special kind of harken back to the original Toy Story. There's a moment here where basically it quotes like, you know, greet the world with an open heart, which really, again, Chris, you're right, it has a bit of creepiness to it, how random it is, and the toys react to it as such. However, I love how they're so on the money to what the moment's saying. It's providing words of wisdom that really do fit into Trixie's overall arc. So even this little order is trying to help Trixie the whole way through, saying, you know, greet the world with an open heart. Basically saying, you know, open yourself to these new possibilities. It's a fortune cookie ornament almost. And it reminded me of Sid. Remember the scene in Toy Story with Sid's bag with Buzz, Woody, and the little green alien in. Pretty much, you get the idea. It's been yammering this whole time on the way to his house.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of Sid, I've always wondered like why they treat the end of the first movie like why is Sid is such a special moment? Like he is like literally the only person the toys have ever revealed themselves to. I feel like that guy who was like kidnapping the toys, like there were
Al?
several moments where they could have revealed themselves to, you know, in the Halloween special that could have helped them out.
Well,
And
remember, Al was mentioned in the Halloween.
Al too in Toy Story 2.
Yeah, I know. Al was mentioned in there.
He was a pretty creepy guy, and they could have revealed themselves to him to really screw him up. But Sid is treated as this very special guy, you know. I always thought that was weird.
Well, I guess they have a little more sympathy towards the kid, like we're gonna change him for the better, maybe. That was just creepy. We're just gonna screw with him, make him more paranoid, like a Twilight Zone vibe with this guy. Just make him think that things are going right for him, where he's gonna be completely screwed over in Japan.
But Sid just becomes a garbage man. Yeah, I don't think they made him better. I think they
they set him on the right path. He's no longer, well, at least he's not going to be mean to toys. He's got a fondness.
Yeah. He puts toys into he sends toys to their doom. He sends toys to their doom where they're going to get burned. So arguably it's even worse because he is like the devil for toys now.
Well, it's also he's a bit of a savior. Like remember he ties him to the front of the trucks, and he's also
No. That's not a savior. That's like being crucified.
No, but I mean at the end he saved them by taking them back to Andy. Remember?
That is super fucked up.
I'm saying he took him back to Andy at the end. He was the big saving grace, and then third, I'm saying he saved them in that moment.
Oh, I just don't.
All right. Can we get
back to the special. So now we're at Mason's house. You got an Optimal Rex. Rex, he envies not having longer arms, which is gonna come back.
And then the kitty says, "Limitations are the shackles that we bind to ourselves."
Again, fitting in with Trix's character arc. A bit, smidge. And we got an awesome crash landing. I loved it. I did really love the simple idea. Like, oh, well, how are we going to get our toys into the adventure? Tosses them into the other room again. Spaceship.
Toss.
And just
really liked the animation. That was really nice.
Yes, it was so cool. And again, I just love that bag. It's such a cool idea. It's I have a version of this bag actually, not in a bag, but I have like the actual toy spaceship they put out. You put a little Buzz and Woody in, like Buzz's
spaceship. Really? Oh, that's cool.
So I have such nostalgia. I gotta tell you, overall, the special, I felt really nostalgic ties. A lot of stuff they
of course. Yeah. Well, we're about to get into that.
Certainly. So anyway, so pretty much the toys and kind of the classic mundane stuff. You're pretty much saying, well, it looks like we got some time off their plans. I love that they're not bitter about the video game thing at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, now we got some time off. Let's look for old Playdate pals.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for them to be bitter about the video game thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
Video games themselves, they've shown that in previous movies, I think.
It would be funny if we found out the kids were playing Wreck-It Ralph. I should say Fix-It Felix Jr., I mean.
Well, I just remember Ham and Rex playing a video game at some point, that's all.
Yeah. Well, they were playing the Buzz Lightyear game.
Yeah, so, there's no hard feelings against video games.
Well, not the video games itself, but what has like distracting them to the kids from the
But that does raise a question, like, can the controllers and the console talk?
No.
For those games?
They're not. They have to be modeled after a character.
Like Gibbony on Gravity Falls, where the characters in the game talk and take over technology.
Well, I would say the video game characters themselves. So we can have we could logically have a Wreck-It Ralph Toy Story crossover, perhaps.
A Mario toy figure could technically talk, but but
it's me, Mario. I am an action figure. Mamma mia.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so point is, so basically, Trixie says, "Hey, maybe some new arrivals too." They look over this pretty much this beautiful the city of. I love the set in this kid's room, by the way. I love the set of Mason's room. It's so huge, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they do a really good job of establishing like a huge scale to it, even though it's literally like about like a corner of a little kid's room.
Yeah, it looks so big.
I hate to call back to the end of the episode, but they established in the end of the episode that clearly this kid is rich because they pan out to the size of the kid's house.
Now remember, Buzz mentions, the kid must have no kid's this good when we see like all the copious amounts of he got all the battle sores.
They
Yeah,
show
yeah.
it literally looks like a house in the hills of Hollywood. Like this.
Well, they are in California.
Yeah, this is a really nice house. Like it's very modern. It's like a modern mansion. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
I could picture this kid like being the kid of an executive or something.
Oh yeah.
No, the kid's it's John Lasseter's kid. That's the scene.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that'd be awesome. Though.
We
John
never
Lasseter,
No, you're probably not far off. Like
I've seen John Lasseter's house. It is awesome.
Rooms after they're actual kids' rooms.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, pretty much you see, oh man, this kid hit the jackpot. Nobody's this good. And we see the city of bat. I love how the look of this kind of the city of battles is like gifts that are unwrapped, some partially unwrapped, the boxes hanging around. Really cool look. And also you'll notice little Easter egg. The Luxo ball is around the little 5 and Up logo.
I did see that. Yes.
Really cool looking.
Oh yeah.
Rex is nervous with excitement.
Yeah, I do like the look of the city. It harkens back to like kind of like the it reminds me a lot of the way a lot of the shots from the Lego movie looked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Again, it just has this really good vibe. Like you're going in, like the lights coming from like the grooves and stuff of the desk and whatnot, like little fractions of light coming in.
Scenes actually.
I'm sorry.
These actually were some of my favorite scenes. I actually wish the whole movie had surrounded around more of a human-like setting, as opposed to diving more into the toy city setting.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I agree that when it gets more and more into the dinosaur city, it kind of starts to feel less like toys.
It feels just more like a 3D movie with toy.
Right, yeah.
Well, they've always juggled that in the previous movies. Like they have this thing, I believe the animators call it. There's toy scale, and then there's the human world scale. Pretty much human world scale. A lot of them, like some animators favor it more than the other scenes. Pretty much like you have a little toy in the big world, or basically the toys are they're full like size of you and me.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. But
I got the sense I loved seeing all the plastic detail and stuff. It kind of reminded me I'm in the world of the toy. I liked it. I bought it.
But moving on, like I really liked like for instance how the villain rolled along. Like,
yeah, that's great.
Now, one second before we get there, I just want to mention overall again this whole thing took me back to my nostalgia, my Christmases past, and I love the thing. It reminded me when I got Dragon Ball Z playsets when I was a kid. Like when I would get like the 2 playsets I coveted most, and I got, and it took me back to this and get all the Dragon Ball Z figures and stuff. I got the world martial art tournament. It reminded me of the arena. It reminded me a lot of the battle arena they had going on here.
Yeah.
And I had the really gross Boo. Super Majin Buu playset where you inside his body and stuff.
Oh my god.
It's like a deranged version of the Barbie head toy.
Yeah. I had some Dragon Ball Z playsets too. Now, these remind me a lot more of like the Hot Wheels playsets.
Yes, definitely.
Like they had these weird dragon Hot Wheels playsets where or even this weird board game thing where it was like Mount Doom, maybe it was too.
I'm trying to remember. There was this one brand of toys. I don't know who put it out, but it was just like all this medieval stuff, like castles and dragons and stuff like that. You remember that?
I think that was Playmobil.
I got a bit of a,
Playmobil. Okay.
Anyway, so we meet the battle swords, which by the way, I got kind of a Gorgon Knights vibe off the battle swords, a little bit like Archer from Small Soldiers. Did you guys get any of that? A little?
No, but all I can say about these guys is that God damn it, I really want a spin-off cartoon based on these guys.
What? The little dragons?
No, the dinosaurs, because I just think the battle swords, because I think it'd be a really cool cartoon.
They could do it like the Combat Carl commercial, like 2D, like the
right, yeah. Well, I was thinking more just like Buzz Lightyear Star Command. You have this toy franchise, and then you have a cartoon attached to it. And you can even work in like Trixie and Rex into the main cartoon for some reason.
way too 90s. Like, we are not in the 90s anymore. You
Well, I don't mean a TV show. I mean like a short that go on like the DVD. That's what I'm saying.
Got, but
like what they do with Combat Carl, pretty much, but just extended a little more.
I could actually see them making toys out of this. That's what.
Yes,
oh yeah.
They were so cool.
You know what my favorite bit of comedy was with these guys?
What was?
Okay, just really quick. It's when. Well, first of all, you want to introduce the characters really quick. Just
here, so we meet
out of the way, the new ones.
All right, so we meet the Battleswords. Buzz is impressed by the technical motion sensors and everything. Really high tech place, pretty much. Let's see. So, I love how Woody and Buzz are kind of basking, kind of the novelty of it all. Pretty much like these guys are really theatrical. I love how we kind of slowly realize that these characters, they don't realize they're toys yet. They're in diluted Buzz mode. Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's because, you find out later that basically they've never played with.
Oh, there's a reason for that. I love the commentary comes from that, but we'll get to
that. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so Trixie being theatrically trained, she plays along, with the diluted toys, pretty much she just thinks they're really committed to the part, and Buzz and we're just kind of basking in the novelty of it, kind of realizing, oh man, they really don't know. It's like there's a reason. And we introduced pretty much the really coolest character, in my opinion, for this special, Reptilius Maximus. Played by...
this guy's voiced by?
Yeah, Kevin McKidd, who voiced one of the fathers in Brave, the big kid, Macintosh was the blue painted one.
Okay, well...
He was the big one, the huge guy. And also, most notably for me, for DC, he had voiced Thomas Wayne Batman in Flashpoint.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Cool. He's good.
Uh-huh.
And they got Reptilius Maximus, who was pretty much just cool gladiator toy dinosaur.
And it's great because essentially what they do is they give him like the Buzz Lightyear arc, but they do it in like over the course of like 20 minutes.
It's like, what if Buzz Lightyear was a gladiator?
Right.
A dinosaur gladiator.
Okay.
Basically, it's like, what if Buzz Lightyear was a dinosaur version of Thor?
Oh God.
That's
pretty much it. Yeah.
I love this moment. This moment, I'm always gonna love Woody, and I always feel kind of bad for Woody this year. Again, I love kind of buzzing with they're in the swing of this. Pretty much, they know the standard procedures. After all their years of being played with, and they're pretty much saying, "Okay, go greet him, Sheriff." Says, "Hello there. Howdy, partner. My name is Woody." And pretty much just, and no one cares.
And no one cares.
You feel so bad. Oh, poor Woody.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, so we get a sense here that the
wait. Just let me tell you my favorite comedic moment really quick, because it's right around here. It's when Reptilius Maximus first lays eyes on Trixie, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're not like the other females."
And we cut to
and then we cut to one of the warrior females, and she's just like, "Ah!"
They're like those duck-billed looking dinosaurs.
When I first saw that, I just I don't something about the timing of that just made me just crack the fuck up.
That was very well timed.
Not loud, but that's how real dinosaurs are.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Oh
my God.
It was pretty much nice underlying thinking coming from our intros here is that the dino culture, the Battlesword culture here, apparently they value other dinosaurs more than any other race of toys. So there's a bit of kind of, again, it feels kind of like, I haven't watched the show myself, a bit of a Game of Thrones vibe. Would I be right in that at all?
Me and Staffslinger both have not indulged in Game of Thrones, so we wouldn't really know.
So we're all three of us are in the dark.
Game of Thrones is, from what I can tell, it's...
Game of what?
Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Game of what?
Thrones. Never mind.
Is it a bunch of guys who throw thorns at each other?
Yeah, they throw chairs at each other, pretty much. And toilets. They throw chairs and they throw porcelain toilets.
So it's like thrown basketball.
Like WWE.
Oh, dear God.
It's like dodgeball with chairs, pretty much.
Like WWE.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's how much respect we have for Game of Thrones. There, just put that out.
I hear good things, and we all love Peter Dinklage, so I'll get that. Yeah.
I know who George R.R. Martin is.
Oh dear God. Okay, well, if we're just really quick with the Game of Thrones thing, just to throw it out there, I don't hate that show. I like a lot of shows that are really involved, but Game of Thrones takes involved to the next level. It is ridiculous to try and keep track with that shit. All right. Anyways.
Anyway, so we noticed that Reptilius is taking a liking to Trixie.
If I wanted to play an RPG, I would play an RPG, not watch a TV show. Thank you.
Well, now you can because the video game's out.
Oh no!
Hey, you can play it on your Optimus X. Anyway, so while Trixie's getting to know Reptilius a little here, then speaking of kind of the dinos not taking likely to other races of toy, the cleric comes by.
Oh yeah, is that his name? Just cleric?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks pretty much like a Dark Crystal. I believe the term is Skeeces.
I just call him the rolling guy.
The rolling guy. Well, Zerg's a rolling guy.
Yeah, I like that some characters just have that action. Like
yeah.
They don't have feet, so they just because they have robes, they have to have like little rollers under their robes.
There seems to be a runner in the Toy Story universe of having diluted characters with extensive lines from TV shows who roll around. And purple.
You're bad.
And purple.
You must roll. You don't walk.
He's too good for legs. No.
I find your lack of armor disturbing.
He's a bit of the Emperor, too.
He's very much the Emperor.
He's the Emperor mixed with the Skeeces.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, sorry. I'm hearing sighing. I'm not hearing.
Yeah, you very much sound like you have a point to make.
The character design is funny to me.
It is. He always looks in this whole special. He's perpetually pissed off.
Oh yeah.
I just like towards the end where they make his wings go up and he basically becomes a nightlight.
I love that. And I'll get to that.
I didn't even catch that the first time I watched it.
So essentially, our prospector-like character comes by, the cleric.
Oh yeah.
Well, a mechanic. Mechanic?
Well, the armor guy, the blacksmith, I call him.
Yeah, I think he was more. He reminded me a lot of like a literally like one of the one of the not the dwarfs, one of the whatever, just a little tinkerer guy. That's all.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
The tinkerer.
Well, he's
with armor. He makes armor.
Well, it sounds
He
more.
reminds me of Bentley from Sly Cooper. That's the vibe I got off of him.
He reminds me of like a World of Warcraft thing.
Kind of, yeah. This whole thing very much kind of has a World of Warcraft vibe. I'd say this thing definitely has a World of Warcraft vibe, much more so than Game of Thrones.
Here's a little character moment between Buzz and Woody I want to throw by you guys. When the cleric enters, they kind of have a bit of a meanish line. I want you to give a ruling on this. They say, we know where they keep the fossils. And then Tertiary kind of shushing them like, shh, come on.
Well, that's
I don't know. I didn't really take that as mean. I just took that as playful.
Yeah, I'm saying I was throwing it out there as a kind of devil's advocate.
Yeah. I was insulting the fact that they these guys were the older looking characters.
I don't really get it. They don't look that old though. But they're all dinosaurs. Really, they're all kind of old.
Yeah, but this guy he's got like the wrinkly skin and everything. I think he's clearly meant to be like.
Yeah,
designed to be like the elder of the group.
Yeah. Anyways,
I like how when they were armoring them,
Trixie and Rex.
I like how when they were armoring Rex, he whispered into the ear of the armorer guy.
Yeah, Raygon.
Which plays into something later on.
Oh, big time! I love that.
Oh yeah.
Now, before that, pretty much, we're part of the Bonnie tribe. And
I love how Buzz and Woody snicker
Early
when they hear that.
and as they do that, the cleric comes by, like he's like tapping them, saying, leave your offerings. Saying, don't we not welcome dinosaurs into our culture? Got a bit of an implied relationship between Reptilius and the cleric. Cleric's all set in his ways, all bitter and always crabby.
In a way, Reptilius is kind of like the Darth Vader to the Emperor's Emperor, to the cleric's Emperor.
A bit. But he's more fun-loving Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I get a real Thor vibe off of this guy.
Mm.
Anyway, so pretty much he said, well, do we not welcome dinosaurs? Okay, well, welcome the dinosaurs. And pretty much he's buzzing where you're kind of saying, hey, let's get out of here. Let's leave them to do this. Had enough of Shakespeare in the Park, which reminds me of Iron Man from the Avengers, by the way.
Yeah, and that also reminds me of, like, well, if you've had enough of Shakespeare in the Park, then, God, you're going to hate going back home to Prickle Pants.
Well, I mean, it's a whole society of these guys, and he kind of picks up on the fact, some might be a little off about these guys.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so then this moment kind of startled me. Forgive me if I get sappy during this. Pretty much like when I see my favorite Toy Story characters, I get a little sucked into it. It's like where it's like I see them like getting taken like silently, and they're like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
I honestly I'm surprised like Buzz and Woody just can be taken without a fight.
Well, it happened in the last special, Toy Story of Terror.
Yeah, I know. It happened in the original too. So
yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty ominous welcome.
Again, I kind of missed the fact that they were taken until I rewatched this a second time because it happens really fast.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they just get snatched right up, right in the back.
Yeah.
And, a big thing I heard mentioned by the guys working on this thing that they really strive for a 3-act structure.
I can see that. Yeah.
So pretty much they had this really ominous kind of act break moment where the cleric goes, they're basically welcome to Battleopolis. Then we got the armory scene again. Regani's arming him up. It's so fun. Again, this kid must have been really good because he has every accessory. Such a cool idea. Basically, tricks the guy going shopping.
Yeah, tiny little plot hole. There's no way that those little armor pieces would actually fit onto toys manufactured by a different company.
Well, I mean, let's give him some credit. You know, he has every accessory, so there's a lucky chances.
I like the idea, even though they, obviously put armor pieces on a different toy. I like the idea, even still, of an entire series of toys where you can interchange their armor pieces.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Judging by how different they look, I mean, all the toys look vastly different, and if you can really interchange all the armor pieces between all the different toys, then I don't see how it could fit on some other toy that was manufactured by a different company, because those toys are all vastly different sizes and shapes.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a miracle exception. We'll give him a pass.
It's just a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's like Minecraft of toys,
I love, and by the way, I know the big kind of one of the buys for this thing, which we'll give them because it's just there's enough there to go off of that. Pretty much, you work these little controls and you can control the arms really well.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I love the animation on the arms. So like it has like a little playset thing, like it goes up the little spine of the thing to open the chest and like armor people up.
Right,
and
right.
I love the animation on the arms, which is the same animation they use pretty much for Rex's arms, which they give Rex what he's always wanted. I was worried about the arms going into this. I was worried how they're going to sell me on it, but they did sell me on it because I was thinking, it's going to be a little unrealistic if Rex. I was thinking like it was going to be playtime mode when he was doing that, but no. So it's actually a toy accessory of him, like fiddling with the arm, saying, "Oh, gun, Rex, show us the gun show." They're good for Rex. He finally got some long arms. Yay for Rex.
Yeah, but it's like he doesn't even have real control over it.
I know. Well, for a while he might. They didn't do anything with it, but for a while he may have.
I like the little moment when Trixie's getting changed into her armor and she just peeks her head out. She's like, "Did I mention what a fantastic time I'm having?"
Aww. So
very Mabel Pines-esque.
And
right there.
I love in this scene that really we kind of fall again. So it's only like 20 well, maybe a little more than 22 minutes, but Reptilius Max is instantly we like this guy, right?
Oh yeah.
And in this scene, he has this little moment with the Rex, just makes me like him all the more. And again, he's an innocent in all this. He's just doing it because it's a fun-loving battle. Opolis. Pretty much, he's like grabbing Rex by like his proverbial shoulder and saying, "Oh, I haven't forgot about you, brother." So sweet. I love this guy. He's so nice. Yeah. Then we get to let's see. Again, some sinister implications from the cleric with the Rex's upgrades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trixie's walking down with the Reptilius saying, "Oh, look at all these buildings, cars." The cars are so funny.
Everyone needs an apartment shaped like their own head.
Yep, and then we see the Triassic Tower, which this is a good detail. If you look closely, you'll see a little camera in the mouth of the thing.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much. And this is great. I love this description of it, because the description, obviously, toy logic being seen in here. That
sure.
The big kind of flowery way of saying, he's like, we can see distant realities raised to like the cosmic wisdom. Pretty much, we can see distant lands.
It controls us.
Pretty much. Basically, we can see to other realms through this thing.
Yeah.
And it's a big old foreshadow. Pretty much they get instructions from this thing, too. It is kind of like the claw, because they get like the little alert beacon and everything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And pretty much we see, this whole civilization, they kind of battle like Asgardians, they live the fight, and it's for fun.
So one thing that bothers me is that they keep having the villain, like they keep, the special deal has to keep reestablishing the villain by having to appear in every other shot and do a grrr by going grrr.
Again, I told you, he's just, I'm telling you, I noticed throughout the special, is that, again, the cleric in the special is perpetually pissed off.
Yeah, I just don't think that's necessary at all.
I think it's over the top funny. That's the reason I kind of accept it. But you definitely have a point, most certainly.
I thought it was just over the top.
I think that's intentional, though. That they're saying, yeah, this guy's pretty much over the top.
Grrr! Like every other shot, literally, though.
Yeah, I know. I think it's intentional. I think it's funny because of that.
Okay.
Again, they gotta soften him for the change later on, I guess, maybe.
He doesn't even have that much of a change, because after
I know.
He doesn't even talk after his change.
Yeah.
He just shines a bright light out of his face.
Anyway, so we have kind of like a classic kind of the gladiatorial.
Oh yeah.
Shot of before a gladiator battle, we got kind of like lamenting over how beautiful land this is shot.
It's an homage to the cinematic classic Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones.
Oh, it's not like that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sand, it's everywhere. Yeah.
I murdered them. Women.
Okay, let's ease up.
Not you too.
So
I slaughtered them.
Prickle Pants. So pretty much we hear from like Trixie saying, Prickle Pants is right. I gotta be the battle sources. This Prickly Pants is a wise prophet. Reminds me of when Diluted Buzz. Reminds me of when Diluted Buzz would have all his like nicknames for everybody.
Like what?
Remember, help me prop up Vegetable Man or we're done for.
Oh God! But the musical, they allude to a musical. I'm so glad they didn't.
I think that's part of the joke, because I think everyone watching is just like, oh God, really? Are they really gonna sing?
So he's about to sing, and then we see they're all just not singing a song, but singing the jingle, the commercial theme song to their show. Battle Source!
Yeah.
I love that. It subverted expectations in a brilliant way.
So into it. She's just like, hell yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
You know what's so great about that? Is the idea, just the simple idea that just singing the song. Right? The idea is they formed their whole civilization off that theme song, pretty much. Pretty much off the theme song.
This whole episode really raises a lot of questions for me, because it really makes me wonder how the whole mechanics of the Toy Story characters work.
Oh.
especially because in the first movie, Buzz, he couldn't figure out that he was a toy far after the fact that Andy was playing with him.
Right, yeah.
I don't quite. Is it like this mental block that these toys have?
Well,
Is it like this delusion? I kind of understand it, but I kind of don't. It's a weird state of being. I just know that I would hate to be a toy. That's all I know.
Well, I think I can explain it. Okay, so the original, I think it was semi-retconned, if you will.
I'm literally scared of being a toy. I've had nightmares of being a toy.
Yeah, I think the original notion, and they could still be going with this. The original notion was that Buzz had a factory defect. Of course, it was all, it was the original plot.
What about everyone else?
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
So the original idea was that it was a factory defect for Buzz. That's why he thought he was alive. Now, what I think they might be retconning, if not also including just maybe there was what I think they're going for. If they're not just saying entirely everyone goes through this thing, what they think they are saying is that the obvious thing is there needs to be a moment of introspection, like kind of like almost imprinting for when an egg comes out.
I will go Saline no more moment.
Yeah, so what I think it is that basically a toy, the science of this world is like, okay, toy gets opened out of the package, gets played with instantly, as any kid would normally. Then they kind of realize, okay, I'm a toy. That's their moment of realization. That's their imprinting moment. However, in cases like Buzz Lightyear, I'm going to say is still the anomaly of like the whole toy line's out. I'm just going to say that. Otherwise, they're just sailing.
The whole toy line is just...
That's my assumption. But here's the thing.
There was that other Toy Story 2. There was that other Buzz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other Buzz went through your same storyline. That was great.
Like real either.
So let me throw this out. So I think also like cases like the Prospector, I think the idea is he a point where like I guess when he's sold perhaps or whatever, when he's like somehow he becomes conscious in the box, he has that moment of those years of introspection, realizing okay, I'm a toy and this is bull being trapped in this thing. I guess he's been awakened. He dawns on him slowly that he's a toy, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then he becomes embittered over time. That's my assumption how it works.
I get it. But for a children's cartoon, the implications are
astronomical.
Really creepy for me, and honestly, they gave me nightmares.
Oh come on!
The implications of Toy Story have given me nightmares about like being made into plastic. And into a path.
Slinger, this isn't therapy hour, okay?
No, this is exactly why I wanted him on this channel. This is shit like this.
Up, man. Like, this is shit. You make children watch this stuff, and I watched this stuff when I was a child, and now stuff that we're dealing with here. Like,
oh god.
I don't think this is. It's fine as an idea and a concept, but really, like, the implications of some of the things that they're presenting here are just a bit heavy for children, I think.
All right.
I think that's a brilliant thing about Toy Story is that the general base concept of Toy Story is something that every kid can totally relate to, except now in the modern age where it's video games.
Like playtime with your toys, but when you really start to
No, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like that's why Toy Story has been one of those series that appeals just as much, if not more, to adults than it does to kids.
Honestly, I think this is one of those things that is just for kids, because when you start to think about it as an adult, that's when those things start to come up. Because as a kid,
I think those things make the series fascinating, though. That's the thing. I think
that's the problem. I think that's the problem. Is as a kid, I never would have thought of these things, but now that I'm an adult, I like think about this shit, and I'm just like, holy shit.
You just can't get over it. It's just like it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay, we should probably.
Okay. All right, continuing.
I'm waiting for the obligatory monkey cameo.
The monkey.
It's a monkey.
Is there a monkey in here?
Well,
some of our regular contributors is named Monkey. And every time a monkey pops up, we always go, "It's a monkey!" Like Dennis Hopper. It's a monkey.
The running gag.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Pretty much in a little conversation after the theme song, we got Reptilius and Trixie kind of talking about playtime, and he confuses play for surrenders. We don't surrender. And the cleric activates the little battle beacon after apparently he's been pissed off enough. Okay, I'm going to enact things now. And they're all summoned to the arena, which again, Dragon Ball Z memories. Yeah.
Honestly, when I saw that, I saw it as him being. When I watched this the first time, I saw it as him having some issue with the affection that was going on between the two of them for some reason.
Huh.
The fact that they were getting closer, was bothering him on some deeper level. But that was obviously before I had seen the rest of the episode. But it just, that's the way I read it when I first saw it. It was somehow affection bothered him because he was just this evil character.
Right,
well,
yeah.
Really,
his whole point, his whole lot in life is going around and beheading poor little penguin toys and everything.
To be fair, what they might be going for, and again, I don't think it's as much of a stretch. Maybe the reason he's ticked off these two is because Trixie's starting to implement the ideas, and I guess kind of his Darth Vader, his apprentice, his mightiest warrior, if you will, that what playtime is, and he wants, if that idea gets out, then he's doomed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
so maybe that's the reason.
Obviously, in retrospect, I can see that, but I'm just saying the first time I saw this, before I seen the full thing, the way I had read it was that, this guy just was against affection, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it happened immediately after Trixie had nuzzled, him.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, not really nuzzled, but...
Immediately after she nuzzled him.
She didn't nuzzle him exactly.
Kind of.
There wasn't nuzzling.
That was totally nuzzle. She nuzzled.
There wasn't any nuzzling.
She up to him and she rubbed it against him.
Yeah, I agree with Slinger.
What are you gonna call it?
I didn't see any. I don't know. I have to watch it again. I didn't see any nuzzling.
Yeah, she put her nose up to him and she rubbed it against him. She went nuzzle, nuzzle.
All right. Nuzzling aside.
Mabel Pine soundbite to go with it. Nuzzle, nuzzle.
All right, nuzzle. Okay, fine. Nuzzling aside, we're in the arena.
All right.
So the cleric, I love my favorite gag in this scene, probably almost the whole special. I love this gag a lot. I love the cleric is wheels up to his throne. He has legs built into it.
Of course.
So funny. And then we're introduced to our kind of a regular Playdate pals who were mentioned. And I love the design of these guys. And love, again, kind of the philosophy of John Lasseter's that you guys, you always have to have a toy line figured out for some of these.
Oh, yeah.
For all of these, pretty much. Well, Saki, obviously, he's a sock monkey. But there's one... We got Saki, his name. We got Pengo, who's part of the Eagle Force, so he's part of a toy line.
Oh God!
And we got this name cracks me up. Fauntleroy, as in the Fauntleroy pants, or Lord Fauntleroy,
Oh wow!
Anyway, so we see the old Trixie's like, "Hey guys," and then pretty much Claire gives us these Coliseum-ish thumbs down. The battle happens, and I gotta tell you, just watching this the first time, I was shocked, and it's like, ouch, oh god, he beheaded the penguin.
Yeah,
God,
it's very violent.
And one of the audience members catches it like a souvenir. And Fauntleroy's out of there. Oh god, it's so violent.
To me, this is a very stereotypical scene. The one thing I like about this scene is the way that they make him sit in his chair.
Yeah.
It's got the little feet already.
Yeah.
I think we've already established.
Yeah, little feet also.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Other than that, I feel like this is a very stereotypical battle arena scene.
But it was cool.
It's been seen in literally every.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Or even in Futurama's done this before. Everything's done this.
Oh, you're right.
Are we really begrudging this dinosaur society for having a coliseum where they do battle professionally?
I do like the whole character development that comes out where Trixie and Reptilius both kind of realize that they weren't who they thought they were.
Yeah, that's a great thing. But
So I think I do agree with Slinger that the whole Coliseum setup is definitely kind of a cliche with cartoons, but I like what they did with it. I like the story implications that we had with it.
I love the people that are on like stakes, pretty much saying like, it's doomsday.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of violence in here. Just again, toy logic. I love the illogical toy logic we've always had since first toys. Are like, toys like they're gonna be fine, but just it seems a little violent. Like one just eats his head knocked off. We'll just put it back on.
Something I never felt like they explored enough, though. Really quick, though, here was the lore of their little glowing chest emblem thingy.
Yeah, that's one gripe I have with the thing. Now, the implication I got, okay, now what I thought is like you get hit that thing, you lose, but then the battle keeps going on, so I assume it's a point system.
Yeah.
Okay, so kind of like laser tag.
Huge.
Well, like you hit the chest and you win the battle. I guess for the kids.
Okay.
Set up a lot of stuff with that, but then they never really explained any of it. And that really bothered me. Like, I felt like there should have been some explanation as to what was up with the glowing chest thingy and the connection.
They treat it like a big thing, because he gets to the chest and like Claire goes,
I think that's a big thing, and then it's never explained.
I just assume it's like a quick victory. I don't know, I guess you're right, but I think they wouldn't really be any way to explain without the kids there, like it's a point system established on the box or something.
Anything. Just anything to explain, like, literally.
I guess like a line saying, "Oh, you got a point, darn it."
Well, oh no, I guess right here he like literally. Okay, so he points his thumb down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to imply like a point or something.
No, that implies kill the guy. Well, he sucks. He's going down.
No, I think the glowing chest thingy is just like the alert system that's connecting them to like their like glowing thing, the big like thing in the town,
You got a point, but still, they kind of treat it like a big thing when it gets hit, so I'm thinking it's a little more. I don't know. You might be right.
I don't know. That's my point. They don't explain. Right. There's no way of.
Anyways, one of my favorite parts of the special. Oh my god, I love this so much. The animation, this is fantastic. Buzz and Woody, they're put in the Coliseum. It's a big old reveal. Oh my god, we're part of this evil gladiator society. Oh my god, this place.
I really liked the fight between Buzz and Woody. I thought they were going to put this out, and Buzz and Woody would have been saved like the minute they were put in the arena. But the fact that they had them actually like have a fight, like
I know.
I
was geeking out so much during this fight. Like, it's the thing my little kid mind.
And of course, the comedic timing.
Oh my god, what if this happened?
The comedic timing of Buzz throwing the crayon is perfect.
My favorite line in the entire special. Favorite line. Is where'd you get a crayon? I love that.
The way Woody's face looks when the crayon breaks is just priceless.
But so also I want to point out some of the exposition here. Pretty much Woody kind of expositing here. They've never been playing with. They don't even know their toys. And Buzz Lightyear, I want to point this out. If you notice, if you rewatch the special, especially in this scene, he's Spock in this whole special.
Who?
Buzz, he's pretty much Spock, and he's commenting on the society and stuff. Like,
now that you mention it, Buzz is honestly, obviously, he's Captain fucking
Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, I say Spock because he has his line right in this scene. It makes me think more Spock than Kirk when he says, "Incredible, isn't it?"
Well, I love that because it's just obviously it's a tie back to the plot of the first movie, in that Buzz is now. These dinosaurs are now going through the same thing that Buzz went through.
It's like the whole special up to this point has been saying, "Oh, the technology's pretty neat." Like, "Oh, I can't blame him. This is some nice."
God, you're just reminding me. This whole thing is kind of a tribute to the whole dinosaur planet. I don't know exactly what it's called. I wish I was more of a Star Trek nerd here, but
doesn't it begin with like a G or something?
Captain Logan would know.
He would know. I don't know.
It's like that. It's a very iconic episode, like
Yeah.
But
It's also got some Dinotopia in there.
Yeah, like what we're talking about, like
or Dino Land for Harold.
This whole kind of like at least in a small way, a tribute to that. Especially the planet is themed.
Well, if we learned anything from Toy Story 2, they're really big Star Trek fans.
That's true. That's very true.
It's very much like a desert planet, like in the places they were shooting the early Star Trek.
Yeah, like that scene where Kirk fights the alien race. I'm pretty sure we're trying to think of right now.
You know, in the Southern California deserts.
All right. Well.
Anyway, so but the awesome scene, a lot of great points. Like, where'd you get Crayon? Fights out, you get kind of classic harkening back to the first Toy Story. Really, the only time we ever got to see Buzz and Woody really fight at all, like against each other in the first movie.
Oh yeah, and you get that Buzz Lightyear.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part because in Toy Story 3, I'll admit, the moment that it gets me the most glassy-eyed, pretty much almost brings me to tears out of nostalgia. In Toy Story 3 is when the button gets pushed, Buzz Lightyear to the rescue, and they do it here again. It's so cool.
One thing I have to say though is like when they press that button, the one thought I had was like, how does none of those toys realize like what the fuck is that?
They all got like buttons on themselves. Maybe just think, okay, it's just battle cry or something. I don't know.
Buzz Lightyear.
Obviously, they established that they're very dumb when the bad guy says ignorance, and they're like, "What's ignorance?" And the other character's like, "I don't know."
Well, don't dinosaurs have small brains usually?
I don't know, but they established that they were dumb in that early scene.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, I love this whole scene. I'm trying to think if there's anything really.
Basically, they fight for a while, and then Trixie tries to save them, and then
No, remember one. I'm sorry if I interject real quick.
No, go on.
So in this fight, some really cool stuff. The animation, you're right, absolutely is well timed. Like he puts the helmet up after he tosses the crayon and realizes, okay, we're in trouble. Then pretty much the battle is so great because you have Buzz's fighting style, which is more acrobatic and tactical. Like he's flipping around the guy smartly.
Right.
We have classic cartoon. I would argue this is the most cartoony Woody animation we've ever gotten. Like he's doing his kind of classic ragdoll routine, but it's really pushed a little more cartoony than usual. Like he's hanging on the thing, giving like a goof, like then he's hit.
Yeah, I just realized something. He pressed they accidentally during the fight they accidentally pressed the dinosaur's button on his chest, and it started blinking, and it made him do like this special attack, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Special spin attack, basically.
You're right. Again, I'm not sure.
That before. Yeah, but so basically, I guess when their chest and is touched, it makes them do like a special action, is what's it called.
Slinger, I thought about that, but it struck me as like he's just doing. Now he's just pissed off. Now he's just doing a move like I'm gonna finish this. Like.
It did look like that. I wasn't sure. It looked.
You're right, though. It's ambiguous. You're right.
I don't know. That's what I mean. But
I don't understand.
Where they pressed it with they accidentally pressed his button with Buzz's his
wings.
His wings.
Yes, I love that. But it reminds me of the Cry Chap action from the original Toy Story.
I get it. Buzz's wings looked important in the first movie, and so did their chest buttons. But both of them are they're just little toys. They don't matter.
Yeah.
They just make them look important.
It's just so.
It was kind of like a bit of commentary from what the first movie was trying to do about how all the toys were trying to like have all these like extra features on them and everything like that.
Yeah.
Especially about how when Buzz's wings pop out and they have those two little flashing lights and the caution, like almost the caution symbols.
Right, yeah.
They're very flashy and they look like they mean something, but then he can't fly at all. He can't do anything with them. They don't amount to anything.
That's not flying, that's gliding, that's falling with style.
There you go. You better not get that line wrong, Tiki.
The first movie. So I think those buttons blinking and like the special like making you think it's like meaning something is like almost an homage to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so I love the best time. Once he flings Woody across the Buzz and Prince of the time in one action, like when he takes the helmet off, Woody's flipped to his back and they activates. It worked really well as a team fighting.
Mm-hmm.
True, they lose, but it was pretty. They got a point scored in there. Like they tap the button, and then what happens? Trixie steps in the battle, and then the Goliath enters.
I love this design of this.
I also agree with you on this. They actually sell this toy, by the way.
Do they? Oh, that's
well.
great.
Here's the thing, real quick. I was going to say this to Liam, but they advertised during the special. Walmart is putting out 6-inch figures.
Oh, wow.
So unfortunately, no full size. They only have the full size Buzzing Woody, but they're in
disappointing.
armor. They're in armor though, which is cool. But I mean, they weren't in armor in the special.
I want a big one of these that I can put like other toys.
I know, it's such a cool.
I know. They only have the one that may or may not hold the 6-inch guys in it.
Okay.
I can't vouch for. I'm just waiting for a full size Reptilius Max because I want that so bad.
Oh, to put other toys inside of.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love all the individual legs and how it moves and everything.
Yeah, it has a scurry effect built into it. And it has like a huge mouth.
Yeah.
I love the huge mouth. I just love the egg because at first you're kind of worried, like, oh my god, wait a second, they're toys. First it eats Buzz and Woody, and ordinarily be like, oh my god, but no, it's just toy. It's gonna be plastic inside. It's gonna be fun.
Right.
Give the toy logic.
I felt like this special was kind of almost made to make a toy line.
Well, yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys, we have this whole, like, Toy Story franchise. Let's make, like, an entire new toy franchise and just attach it to the Toy Story franchise, and we'll sell 1 million toys!
Well, literally, they, again, as I told you before, their ideas with all these characters, they have toy lines, so really, they have infinite possibilities for toy lines if they ever wanted to delve into it.
I know that. I just feel like this is a giant... In the long run, this is just a giant marketing scheme.
Yeah, like we could have Combat Carls.
In the long run, Kevin, in the long run, Staffslinger, it's Disney. Disney in itself is one giant marketing machine.
All right, so
we just have to be thankful that they put up good
Battlesores, though. I mean, Battlesores.
That's such a cool name, by the way.
No, they're 10 years too late.
I was a little low.
I agree, they're 10 years too late. It's totally like a takeoff of like Ninja Turtles or something like that.
I've got a little brother, and I remember he used to. These look like the toys that he bought 10 years ago, or 5 years ago when he was like a 7-year-old. They're like. It's at least 5 years behind.
But you're right. It's got that 80s, 90s vibe of toy to it.
Yeah, like
really
He-Man almost.
Yeah, I love the logo, too, by the way. The logo of the two dinosaur heads butting heads.
I think there's a mid-2000s vibe to the toy designs, honestly. Yeah, the toys look like stuff that was coming out when I was in high school.
Right.
I don't know, I did get the He-Man vibe off of it.
Yeah, He-Man or, just man boy toys.
Anyway, so Trixie, this is a good scene. This is interesting. I mean, Trixie, she's firing the thing. You think they have? Oh my God! I just realized this. They have a matchstick moment. Yay!
What?
Okay, I was supposed to have a whole video on this, but a matchstick moment's like those moments where they set you up to think, okay, Woody lights the match, he's gonna light the rocket, but then it blows out. Like the moments where they basically make you think what's gonna happen next.
Right.
So pretty much, I'll admit there probably is another one in here, but this is an additional one. So Trixie, she's firing the thing, you think it's going to hit the thing and free him, but nope, doesn't work. Matchstick moment. Yeah. So then they see the Bonnie obedience mark reveal, which I thought I knew you.
Oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's a tragic moment. I guess the mark equals surrender, and they frown upon that in the society.
Apparently. And so let's see. How did they establish that they need to get Bonnie?
Well, first the Rex activate the supplicator.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Rex's arms are now in the control of the cleric. The clerics? The cleric.
Yeah.
The cleric is now controlling the thing, pretty much making Rex take control of his trying to stop Trixie from going to fetch Bonnie. So basically, Bonnie can realize, oh, there are my toys, and pretty much getting them out of that sticky situation.
Yeah. Okay. If we can I'm running a little short on time. So
I'm sure. So Reptilius basically is tasked with chase Trixie before I guess she shuts off the power and distracts the kids and then come back in here.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz and Woody, they're trapped in the Goliathan. Again, Trixie's playing there. This is really interesting. When they had this really cool chase through the maze of boxes, which again I really loved.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes when Trixie kind of like reveals that box to Reptilius, it's kind of like a Go Sailing No More moment.
Yes, and I love this. If you notice, I watched this on the rewatch. Originally, I just thought he ran into it, but no, Trixie's actually trying to trigger sign him. Like, she drags the box in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're right, it is kind of a Buzz Lightyear commercial vibe here. Pretty much this empty box, the shot of like him realizing like he's starting to realize he's a toy. It's like a Twilight Zone shot of like him fitting into the plastic. It was so cool looking.
Oh yeah, that was a really cool visual.
And nice little bit too, like a little bit of a reverse from Buzz. Like he rejects this at first, he hits like then he chases her. Meanwhile, Cleric, Buzz and Woody, and Angel Kitty and Rex, they're heading towards their doom, and they get a little exposition here. He likes they deduce that he likes Mason being occupied, so he can rule over these guys.
Oh yeah, makes perfect sense in the logic of the Toy Story universe in a way.
The joy you give to others, the more joy you give to others, the more joy comes back to you. Again, that's basically that's Angel Kid relaying Cleric's ultimate arc, by the way. That's what you need to realize so you can stop living a miserable life. They're like, oh, knocks the away.
Oh god.
What is this And 2 days after Christmas, what is this Christmas?
I just realized.
Yeah.
The ending to this special is very similar to the ending of the Halloween special, where
pretty similar, yeah.
Where it amounts to basically trying to stop the bad guy by exposing or stopping the plot by getting the attention of Bonnie.
True. So pretty much they're about to be thrown. Basically, Rex has been ordered to drop them in the pit, which is in fact really hard. This bit horrified me. This bit made this put me on the edge of my seat. Basically, opened the ventilation shaft and like the running vent with the sharp fan going down there. I was
genuinely worried that Angel Kitty was just gonna bite it.
Oh, I was with you right there, fella. So
guys, I mean, come on. Come on, you guys.
It reminds us. It doesn't remind you of Toy Story 3 when they're about to get chopped up in the first of the 3 onslaughts and then the dump.
Whatever.
I know look. I'm saying that's just me getting sucked
into.
There
are children watching, people. Nobody's gonna hurt it.
He was talking about all these implications.
Look, we knew. I'm just saying we knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I'm just saying I get sucked into it like in the moment.
Yeah.
Or of course, no one's gonna bite it. Like Woody's not gonna bite it
the whole time. Like, oh my god, how are they gonna get out of this one?
Anyway, let's see.
That's just the cynic I am,
Okay, just really quick because I really do have to.
All right, so Trixie versus Reptilius, pretty much. The world's bigger. World's bigger than you think, and you can be much more. Buzz, Woody, and Angel Kitty, they're in trouble. And the Trump she's basically playing taps. The trumpet gets thrown in there,
which that was funny.
Illustrates our danger.
Oh yeah.
So basically, sorry.
I thought it was funny.
It is funny. It's funny and horrifying.
Everything with Angel Kitty is funny.
And then the 2 dinosaurs start getting all sentimental, and then they shut the video game off.
Yeah, he pushes a little red power button on the power strip, pretty much.
And then the biggest issue that I have with this special happens. The kid grabs the toy and doesn't go like, "What the fuck is this toy doing here?"
No,
it's toy. It's kid logic of.
No, he looks at the toy, gets all sentimental, and then sees the girl playing with the toy and is like, "Oh, I should go play with her." No, that's not real. That kid would put headphones back on, be like, "Fuck you," and he would get back to his video game.
What? No.
Yes. Because that's not. I have a little brother. I know how kids act. You can't tell me I don't know how kids act. That's not
say it like it is.
That's not that is a fake Disney kid, and that is my biggest problem with this fucking special.
I will agree with you in that moment when he goes over to Bonnie and starts playing. It's very cheesy.
Come on, the kids get distracted. Okay, he realizes, oh man, she's having a lot more fun.
No. these are fake Disney children, because a real child would have put his headphones back on, started playing video games, and said, "Come on, you gonna start playing? You gonna play?" to the little girl.
What are you doing with that action figure? Gosh.
He would have been like, "Whatever," and kept playing his little Call of Duty game or whatever it was.
Guys, it's Christmas, okay? Let's give him a pass on that.
He does not care that it's Christmas. He's a kid. That is not a real child. That is a Disney child. That is a child that was written by an adult. That is a child who does not.
Some kids.
That is a child who is written by an adult who has no idea what it's like to be a child, because he's 40-something, 50-something.
Take it easy. He's not
a child for a long time.
Look, come
He has
on.
no connection to his children because he's in his office writing Disney stories.
Oh, come on. Be nice. That's
Wow,
No,
that's
it's
some
not
pretty
real.
cool-
That's the biggest problem I have with this. If they would have just made it a little more real, if she would have just went off and, like this.
Look, there are some kids who would be intrigued by Bonnie's creativity, playing with the thing. Oh man, she's doing some fun stuff. I'm not really thinking of it right now. Plus, I can play the game anytime.
It's a juxtaposition with the social commentary that they were going for with the video game thing, and it doesn't really hold the message that they were trying to make with that. It kind of makes it a moot point when they do that. That's my whole point. When when you're trying to make a point or a message, you have to
right.
very end. And if you don't hold that message to the very end, then you're not really making a message or a point at all. You're just saying stuff. You're not doing anything. You're not really making a difference. You're not changing a child's mind about, whether or not he should sit there and fucking stare at a screen and look at his video. No, you're not really making an impact at all. You're just trying to vaguely reference things and make people feel feelings in their heart and feel nostalgia for things. That's the biggest problem I have for this, is that it really just tries to make you feel those nostalgic feelings and make you feel those things that you used to feel without really having too much substance. It has a lot of references to things that make me.
It has a lot of interesting ideas. It just doesn't really connect the ideas in a very cohesive way. I felt that way too.
It is just cheesy.
Well, what would you have wanted to see?
I would have wanted to see
Bonnie wander off and Mason just continue.
I would have wanted to see him put his headphones on. I would have wanted to see Bonnie wander off and have a good time, and I would have wanted to see him staring at his screen and Bonnie get in his way and him realize the error of his ways, but in a more impactful way.
Mm-hmm.
I realized what they were going for, obviously. The fact that he's, supposed to sit there and realize, oh man, I could go off and have a good time with her. She looks like she's having a good time,
Right.
But I just don't feel like the message really had the impact that it was going for the audience that it's really positioned towards. I know the audience. I know my little brother. I know the people that it's going to trying to appeal to, the people that it's trying to reach out towards, and I really don't feel like it had the impact that it needed to have to reach out to those people and say the things that it was trying to say. That's the only thing I have with it.
I don't know. I respectfully disagree with you on that one, fella.
Well, okay.
All right, let's just I don't know if we got a bit.
Well, I'd love to do a follow-up on this. My brother has a YouTube channel, and I'd love to show him this special and see what he has to say. He's pretty much the audience for this thing. So.
All right. So
we might do that sometime. That might be fun. But yeah, Dragon, I'm seriously I'm kind of being killed for time here. So.
All right. So the point is that sees the value of playtime. They got a fun little dance party going on, and then kind of replace oh man, this playtime is a really fun idea. And pretty much you got a play date going on for next time. Typical Crash Land. I got to be a whole bunch of things because I'm Bonnie's dinosaur.
Oh.
Be thankful for the gifts you have all around you. Disappear, really ominous, really going to give you that moment's creepy. Yes. And pretty much you got a really nice kind of Shakespearean happy ending. Pretty much everyone's come around. The integration of the toys, integration of the the Playdate toys, and our new guys. Even Claridix he's calmed down. He's been played with, so he's kind of it's like it's the ending. The Prospector never, guys. He's been played with, and he's having a good time. He's smiling contently as he's being a nightlight.
I did like how they set up another Playdate.
Yeah.
For them to implying that they'd further develop their relationships, and that was
Well, Trixie of the Bunny tribe.
I'll see you again Tuesday, 3:30. And he activates like the little heart, the little thing. It looks like it's a heart glowing or something, with Mason written on his hand. It's a nice ending.
That was really nice.
So let's real quick. How's the stack of as a Christmas special? What do we think?
Well, first of all, just really quick before we end it, what the hell is up with that ending with the kitty angel just disappearing?
It was just I think that was just to give it kind of like like a Christmassy, like I don't know.
I think it's funny. It's kind of self-referential that we have this character kind of expositing all this kind of the morals that we're going for in this special. Basically, this is them kind of recognizing that this isn't really a Christmas special. You have some Christmas themes worked in there somehow, and pretty much then kind of this ominous Christmas ghost, if you will, disappears, and it's kind of funny.
Kind of like a ghost. It's very much a tradition. Like I think it was sort of referential to like the Christmas ghosts of in A Christmas Carol, sort of.
Sure.
It's kind of a theme to have, Christmas ghost remind you of the spirit of Christmas or whatever, something like that sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, how it holds up for me, I mean, I do kind of agree with a lot of Staffslinger's points that he's been making. I think Staffslinger, I think you're being a little too hard on the kid thing. I don't know. I do agree with you on it. I just don't necessarily think it's as big of a deal as you're making it out to be.
Oh, I don't mean to make it a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
I just think it's there.
Yeah, it's definitely there. Yeah. I don't. Overall, I don't think this special is quite as good as the Toy Story of Terror, mostly because I don't know. It's one of those double-edged swords where it's like I very much appreciate the fact that they gave Trixie a lot of development and that we're introducing all these new characters, but honestly, I really missed having the old characters.
I liked the more adult themes of the Halloween special.
Sure.
It felt more like willing to actually approach children, because obviously these are directed at children, and that felt more like it was willing to approach children on a face-to-face basis rather than talking down to them. I felt like this Christmas special was more like in a way, talking down to children, like a telling them a story sort of thing, as opposed to speaking to them face-to-face sort of thing.
Right, like this is how stuff is. Yeah. Right.
Well, overall, I really liked it. I think it's kind of hard for me to rank it over or under Toy Story Terror because I think they're both good. They're both going for different things. Both are really fun. I love a lot of the really nostalgic. It feels like a day after Christmas setting. It's completely sold me on that. A lot of fun, really creative ideas. It makes me. The animation was fantastic. One thing, just again going into it, when I heard, I talked to Marty Bowman, one of the guys that works at Pixar, before this thing came out. Back when Toy Story Terror was like a year before it came out, and he mentioned he mentioned 2 holiday specials in the works, and I kind of guessed a Christmas one. And I like how he didn't answer Christmas, and this is kind of the thing. It wasn't on Christmas exactly, so he kind of gave me a hint there.
True.
What it was, a little fun thing I want to share points. My grandma and I, we've always been waiting for a Christmas Toy Story special, and she liked this, and it wasn't Christmas necessarily, but it was sure fun, and it filled like holiday spirit. It gets you in the mood for the holiday and gifts and all the fun things that can come from that, and the adventures that follow, I guess.
All right. Well,
yeah.
It was fun.
BlueDragonFive,
do you want to, even though we didn't even discuss...
I'd say this is a good special, and you should show it to any children in your family.
Yeah.
And
I think anyone would enjoy it.
Or
not just
anyone really enjoy animation. If I had to rate it, I'd give it probably like a 10.
I'm sorry?
You give it a 10, really?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I maybe 7.5 for me.
It didn't disappoint. it didn't really disappoint me, but it didn't really, like impress me. But I felt like certain parts of it impressed me. So that's like, especially in terms of the animation, and a lot of the lighting effects. I'm a nerd for 3D.
Yes, you are.
I love 3D animation. Like
Oh,
the way some of the real objects look in this movie, like I was legitimately convinced that they were actually real. Like not convinced, but they could convince somebody that they were real. Like I think this really shows the 3D animation. So that's what really pushed it to an 8.
sure.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9.
It's a
Out of
beautiful
10.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, so I guess time to wrap up then.
Well, Blue Dragon 5, hold on. Just, I know we didn't discuss it off air, but do you want to give the audience a preview of... Now, there's one that we're waiting on for Monkey, so we don't know if we're going to be able to do that one. But what's the other one that you have in mind for the next special we're going to be covering?
So the one not including Monkey.
Yeah, the one that doesn't have to have Monkey in it, yes.
The next time we'll be unwrapping Fred Claus.
Fred Claus.
Oh God, no!
Oh, come on!
Fred Claus.
I sat through Fred Claus.
Wait, hold on.
Is unforgivable.
Wait, no, just please give me a brief recap, because I know I've seen that movie. That's
Vince
the one.
Vaughn, Paul Giamatti.
Santa's his
Okay,
brother.
Body, yes. I have
Black Kid.
things about that movie.
Oh, come on.
I don't know how to feel about. I hate Vince Vaughn.
I hate Vince Vaughn too, but I love Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, I know, but that movie is like a cheese fest.
It's going to be
totally
interesting to
is.
say the least,
Totally
folks.
is.
It's going to be interesting to say the least.
Oh man, that movie's funny though.
Alright.
Can I assume that you want to join in on that?
Oh man, yeah, that movie.
All right.
That movie should be like a holiday tradition.
All right. So
All
it's
right.
established. There's one other thing we might be doing with Monkey, but we will definitely be tackling Fred Claus. So yes, Blue Dragon 5, take us with the outro.
Alright, well, kids, it's time to dash away all. As we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time.
With even more seasonal shenanigans.
Fa la 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 la.
Don't forget the family drama, the best part of Christmas. Hell